Hi children, I am Binita, English faculty of Silver Hills Higher Secondary School, Calicut. Today I am going to teach you a very beautiful poem, The Echoing Green by William Blake. Before we start the poem, let me tell you a few things about William Blake and his life. William Blake is a very famous poet, painter and engraver. He was born on 28 November 1757 in Soho, London, England. He was the third child of 7 of James and Catherine Blake. As all other children, he also started going to school, and he went to school only up to the age of 10. And later on he dropped school because of his adamant nature. After dropping out from school, his mother Catherine gave him education at home. After dropping from the first school, he was later on joined to a drawing school where he developed all his creative and imaginative skills. And there he developed interest in writing poetry and painting too. Since childhood, Bible had been a great source of inspiration for William Blake, and this influence could be seen in his works too. Later on, in 1782, Blake married Catherine Boucher. See children, here you are not supposed to get confused because his mother's name was also Catherine and his wife's name was also Catherine. So they got married in 1782, and after their marriage, Blake taught Catherine how to read and write. Later on, he trained her as an engraver too. Throughout their life, his wife had been a great support in bringing out his wonderful works. Blake, he started writing poetry in his young age itself, and he wrote many poems, and his first collection of poems was published under the name of Poetical Sketches, and that was published in 1783. And his other notable works are the Songs of Innocence, the Songs of Experience, the Marriage of Heaven and Hell, Jerusalem, Milton, and many more are there. Though he wrote many poems, he did many paintings throughout his life, he was never recognized while he was alive. He lived his life in dire poverty and passed away in 1827. After he left this world, his poetry became very famous in the literary world, and the literary world started recognizing it. The poem which we are going to read today, The Echoing Green, appears in the collection of poems Songs of Innocence. It's a very beautiful poem, and the poet has presented the nature very beautifully in this poem. The poet has very systematically divided the poem into 3 stanzas of 10 lines each, and he has used many alliterations, rhyming words, and he has arranged the lines in a very beautiful way that this work becomes a masterpiece. So, before I explain you the poem stanza wise, let me tell you about this picture. As we already discussed that Blake was a very good painter, and he was a poet too, he was an engraver too. So, The Echoing Green, this is the original copy of the poem which he wrote with all the pictures there, and he painted the picture according to the stanzas of the poem. So, it is said to be, this is the original copy of The Echoing Green by William Blake. Before I explain you the poem stanza wise, let me recite the poem once for you. The Echoing Green by William Blake. The sun does arise and make happy the skies. The merry bells ring to welcome the spring. The skylark and thrush, the birds of the bush, sing louder around to the bells' cheerful sound. While our sports shall be seen on the echoing green. Old John with white hair does laugh away care, sitting under the oak among the old folk. They laugh at our play, and soon they all say, such were the joys when we all, girls and boys, in our youth time were seen on the echoing green. Till the little ones weary, no more can be merry. The sun does descend and our sports have an end. Round the laps of their mother, many sisters and brothers, like birds in their nest, are ready for rest, and sports no more seen on the darkening green. So this is such a wonderful poem. Now, the poet has, as I told you, the poet has written the poem in 3 stanzas of 10 lines each. So these 10 lines, it's like 5 rhyming couplets. Couplets means 2 lines each. Here you can see that 2 line pairs because all the ending words are rhyming. So the first stanza, the sun does arise and make happy the skies. The merry bells ring to welcome the spring. Here the sun does arise, that indicates that it is the morning time where the sun is rising. The merry bells ring to welcome the spring. So the sun is rising, everything in the nature looks so happy, so fresh and so energetic. We also know when we wake up in the morning, we feel so fresh and we will be having full energy. So here the nature is also so fresh, everything is looking so fresh and energetic. The merry bells ring to welcome the spring. Merry bells, probably here merry bells might have been referred to the bells which are coming from church. So in our place when we wake up, we can hear the bells of churches, bells from temples and so many other sounds. So all these things are adding to the happiness of the nature. So here merry bells means happiness. The skylark and thrush, the birds of the bush. So skylark and thrush, they are the type of birds that fly so high. So there are other birds also which fly little lower than them. But whatever is there in the nature, everything is looking so happy and so fresh, and the energy is there. The skylark and thrush, the birds of the bush, sing louder around to the bells' cheerful sound. So the sound of all these birds are adding to the bells of the church, means they are adding their happiness also into the nature. While our sport shall be seen on the echoing green. Now when we read these 2 lines, the last 2 lines, here we understand that the narrator is a child. Child is saying that while our sport shall be seen. So morning time, if you go and see outside, you can see some children playing there. So here we understand that narrator is a child and child is saying that everywhere children can be seen on the echoing green. The echoing green. Here the word echo means what? Echo means the reflection of sound, and echoing green is here used to explain the cycle of life. Whatever we have today as a routine will finish by night, and again tomorrow that routine will begin, and like that the life will keep on going. Same thing happens in the nature also. Like if it is spring season, the spring season will be there for a few days. After that, the spring season will go away, some other season will come, and again next year the spring season will come back. Same with rainy season, same with summer season. So this cycle keeps on going, and that is what we call as echoing green. Whatever is there in the nature, that reflects back. Whatever is there, it will go back and it will come back again. Same is with happiness, same is with sadness. If we are very happy, sometimes we may have to face some other situation later, and if we have sad days now, or if we are sad today, doesn't mean whole life we will be sad. It will also change. Happiness will shortly be arriving. So we have to be always positive. The second stanza. Old John with white hair does laugh away care, sitting under the oak among the old folk. They laugh at our play, and soon they all say, such were the joys when we all girls and boys in our youth time were seen on the echoing green. So, in the second paragraph also, the narrator is who? The narrator is the child himself. So, here, Old John with white hair does laugh away care. Old John, one random name has been taken here. With white hair means the person is old. To indicate old age, it has been mentioned. Does laugh away care. This person, he's not like a child. Childhood is the stage where we all feel so happy, we are not bothered about anything. So, we remain tension free. We are not worried about our health, we are not worried about our further life, and we are not worried about the death. But the person now who has seen all these ages, he has passed through childhood, young age, and now when the person has become old, he will be laughing, but he will be having little care about what? Little care about the thoughts of being old. Sitting under the oak among the old folk. Oak, as we know that oak is a huge tree, but here in this poem, oak symbolizes the strength, the longevity. Old folk is referred for old people. So, all these old people, what they are doing? They are sitting under an oak tree, and they all are sitting with their friends. So, now the child is saying that these old people, they all have gathered under the tree, and they all are sitting there and chatting with each other. They laugh at our play, and soon they all say, such were the joys when we all girls and boys. So, when they are sitting and chatting with each other, they themselves are remembering their old days. They are becoming nostalgic here. When these old people see children playing, they are feeling what? They are smiling, they are laughing, and they are thinking about their childhood stage. In our youth time were seen on the echoing green. So, they are thinking that in their childhood, in their youth age, their young age, they were also like these people. They had no worries, no tension. They were also so happy. So, now you see that the the ending of the first paragraph and the ending of the second paragraph, it ends with the same line, on the echoing green, means everything is happy in the nature, and whatever is there, it's reflecting back. Like the children who are playing now, after some days they will become young, after some days they will become old, and they will, when they become old, they will be seeing other children playing and they will be recalling their own days. So this cycle will keep on going like this. So here on the echoing green means it will echo back, it will reflect back. The cycle of life is always going to reflect back. So if we look into the deeper side or the deeper meaning of this poem, the first stanza tells us about the birth, the childhood. And the second stanza, it is all about leading the life of young age and reaching to the old age. Now, the last paragraph. Till the little ones weary, no more can be merry. The sun does descend and our sports have an end. Round the laps of their mother, many sisters and brothers, like birds in their nest, are ready for rest, and sports no more seen on the darkening green. Here, the little ones weary. Weary means the little ones are tired, and the sun does descend. Descend means the sunset here. Okay, here means in this poem the sunset is mentioned. The little ones weary, no more can be merry. Now what is happening here? The whole day children, they had been playing. Now they are tired of playing. Now they want to rest. The sun does descend and our sports have an end. Now though the children are very tired, they cannot be happy as they were in the morning time. Now the sun is descending, the sun is also setting. It means that the sun is also, the whole day the sun was shining and was giving life on this earth. Now the sun is also tired, sun is also going to take rest. And our sports have an end. So whatever was there in the nature, now everything is going to rest. The children are going to rest, the sun is going to rest, and even, see, if you have observed nature in the evening time, you might have seen the birds flying together towards their nest to rest. So same way, here also everything is going to rest. Round the laps of their mother, many sisters and brothers, like birds in their nest, are ready for rest. So here, when children, they are tired of playing, when they don't feel like doing anything, they want to rest. All the brothers and sisters, they all want to go back to their mother's lap and rest there in that warmth of mother's love. And sport no more seen on the darkening green. Now the whole environment has become silent, no sound is coming, nowhere children are seen playing, nowhere the chirping sound of birds are coming, and everything has gone to rest on the darkening green. Here the darkening green, this line is little different from first two stanzas. The first two stanzas had the ending on the echoing green. Here it is what? On the darkening green. Means everything is going to rest. And for the old people, this rest can be what? They are waiting for the end of their life. They are waiting for rest from this life. So everything has stopped. The cycle of life has been finished here. So that was about the poem. Now let us see the overview of the poem. As we discussed earlier, the poet divided this stanza very beautifully. We can say that poet has divided it into the different cycles. Like first stanza can be representing morning, second afternoon, and the third one evening. Or in another way you can say that it represents the cycle of life. The first stanza represents the beginning of life and the happiness which can be seen everywhere. The second stanza symbolizes the middle age, where the old people are recalling their good old days, and the last stanza symbolizes death. So here the life cycle of birth, life and death has been described very beautifully by the poet. So children, I hope that you all understood the poem very well, and you have to read the poem to understand it very nicely. And see, when you are reading the poem, don't try to understand it at the first attempt itself. You have to keep on reading it again and again and again until you get the meaning of the poem. And when you keep on reading, automatically you will understand the deeper meaning of the poem. I hope you all enjoyed today's session. See you in the next session. Take care. Bye.